going to look on, and before we say what you're going to learn today, I'm Shem, and I'm going to take you through this course for today. And we start with introduction to economics. We say what is economics. And economics, as India, as people make choices as they try to attain their goals. Choices are necessary because we live in a world of scarcity. It is due to scarcity that people make a choice, because they have to choose between A or B, or between A, B, and C. So when there's scarcity, people are alive to a point of making choices on what they want. So we start by taking to know what is scarcity. And scarcity is a situation in which unlimited wants exceed the limited resources available to fulfill those wants. So, an idea of scarcity is a situation where there are unlimited wants. There are so many wants, uncountable wants, but the resources are very limited. They are very few to fulfill all those wants. And so people are left to choose. These available resources, how can we maximize in utilizing our wants? Then economics is a study of these choices. Economics study these choices using economic models, simplified versions of reality used to analyze real-world economic situations. Then typical economic questions, they are questions that are asked in economics that we need to understand at the beginning of our lessons. And these questions are like, we learn on how to answer questions like this. How are the prices of goods and services determined? What determines the prices of goods and services that we obtain on a daily basis? What does government control? Why does government control the prices of some goods and services? And what are the effects of those controls? Government controls prices of goods and services. How does that one affect? How does those controls affect those prices? We're going to check on that. Those are questions. Some of the questions are asked in economics, but you can also use economics to answer questions like, why do people have so many or so few children? Then how do people choose between hours spent working and hours spent relaxing? All those questions need to be well answered, and those all are economic. Then there are three key ideas about economics. And idea number one, people are rational. What is rational? Rational is using all available information to achieve your goals. Then rational consumers and firms weigh the benefit and the cost of each action and try to make the best decision possible. On the same, people are rational. Rational is all, we have seen that is using all available information to achieve your goals. Use every information that you can be able to get for you to achieve your goals. And rational consumers and firms weigh benefit and cost of each action and try to make the best decision. Then idea number two about economics is people respond to economic incentives. Economic incentives are very effective when it comes to people making choices. So people respond to economic incentive. Example, changes in several factors have resulted in increased obesity in Kenya over the last couple of decades, including the increase in prices of fast food relative to health food, increased availability of health and insurance, protecting people against consequences of their actions. So, in our first example, the increase in the prices of fast food relative to health food has made people as resulted to this issue of what we are calling obesity. Obesity was not there in our tradition when people used to eat traditional food, but now with available cheap fast food, which are full of fat, you realize now people health are also changing, and this is as a result of favorable lower prices of food. and the increased availability of health care and insurance protecting people against consequences of their. And idea number 3, optimal decisions are made at the margin. Optimal decisions are made at the margin. The margin cost and benefit. Marginal cost and at the marginal benefit. This is where the optimal decisions are made. The additional cost or benefit associated with a small amount of extra or some actions. That is where the optimal decision can be made. Like, for example, should you watch an extra hour of TV or study instead? What are the benefits of extra hour of TV and what are the costs of doing the study, or i.e. the benefit of studying instead? When you compare the marginal cost and marginal benefit, is known as marginal analysis. When you analyze the cost and the benefit, if I do this, what will I lose on the other side? Those are the sum of the in economics, and now you can be able to lay the foundation for the economic models. Economists develop economic models to analyze real-world issues. Building an economic model often follows these steps. You decide on the assumptions to use in developing the model. What will you assume? The assumptions that you develop, you will apply in developing the model. Then you formulate a testable hypothesis. From there, you use economic data to test the hypothesis. Then revise the model if it differs to explain the economic data well. The importance of features of economic models in assumptions and simplification. There is assumptions and are simplified. There is a testability. There's availability that is available to test the data to see whether they can give you the appropriate results. Then we have the economic variables. They are always available in developing economic model.